Doki Doki Literature Club. Doki Doki. Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, I'll be reacting to one of the early uploads from a YouTube channel, the game Theorists. This video came out in year 2017, so I think it's around 4 years ago, and it's quite interesting because this is about I think it's around 4th floor breaking. So Doki Doki Literature Club. So I hope you liked it. Thank you. Let's start.
Just Monica.
Wow.
Just Monica. Just Monica. Just Monica.
Wait, is it glitching? Or is it lagging?
Just Monica. Just Monica. Just Monica. Just Monica. So last time we
Oh my god, you deleted the file.
began covering the creepy hidden mystery of
You should not have deleted me, Napa. I am still here, and I still want my Yuri. Long-term.
Hello Internet! Welcome to Game Theory!
Oh my god, the intro is creepy.
And my apologies for any technical difficulties we may be having during this series. So in
Technical difficulties.
part one of this theory, we start to unearth a horror game hidden underneath the cute facade that is Doki Doki Literature Club. We found a letter hidden in plain sight alluding to human experiments and cults, all topics that appear in Yuri's book, The Portrait of Markov, a book that just so happens to have a mysterious eye on the cover. This all led me to concoct a theory that the 4 girls from the club are actually characters from another game. A horror game, in fact, being produced by Team Salvato, and that this is the reason that Monica turned sentient in Doki Doki. Her AI isn't meant to be contained in a mere visual novel game. But today is where things really start to go off the rails as we dive deeper into the Portrait of Markov mystery and cover the game within this game that's itself hiding a 3rd game. Oh yeah, and by the way,
It's like game inside game inside game. It's like game session, I guess. Inception, but with games. Gameception.
if you thought Monica was bad, well then, you should start getting really scared of Yuri. As you'll know if you finish the game, the character files in the game's directory play a huge role in the plot. Monica manipulates and deletes them one by one in her quest to make you love her, and ultimately, you have to delete Monica's file in order to reach the game's true ending. But there's more in these files than just character information. Each of them is a puzzle in and of themselves, left in the game to be solved by the fans. And 2 fans of DDLC in particular stepped up to the challenge. Reddit users MitHost and WarChamp7 dug deep into these files and uncovered their secrets,
Wow, that's a lot of text.
posting their findings to the R Visual Novels subreddit, and the lore bits they uncovered broke the Portrait of Markov mystery wide open. So the character files on your computer start as .chr files, which isn't a real file format that programs can recognize.
True. It's not a real format that software can recognize. Even though we think that it represents CHR as in characters.
But that doesn't mean you can't open them. If you use a text editor like Notepad, you can absolutely see what's inside, and that's exactly what they did, with the text inside each file giving them clues as to what they should be doing next. Yuri's something about this visual novel makes me go through puberty. Yuri's file
Yuri's.
was the easiest to crack. It started as a bunch of random letters and numbers, but that pile of letter vomit was actually text encoded in base 64. It's an encoding technique that converts binary data into text, specifically ASCII text, the same stuff that Bob built his army using a few years ago on
Ooh. Base 64. Interesting.
YouTube. That may sound like it's really hard to decode, but all you have to do is copy it and paste it into a base 64 decoder, like this one right here. When you decrypt Yuri's file, you'll see that it's actually a short story, a creepypasta which the game's director Dan Salvato confirmed that he wrote over 2 years ago and just stuck in the game as an Easter egg. It's a spooky story to be sure, but it seems to be just that, an Easter egg. A red herring. It is nothing compared to everything else hidden in these other character files. Natsuki's file came next, which, when opened in a text editor, gave the clue that this should be opened as a PNG file. Changing the extension resulted in this odd discolored image. But
That's pretty odd. This odd discolored image is quite odd.
for anyone who's had some experience playing around with Photoshop, this color scheme may remind you of what happens when you invert the colors on a picture. It produces those signature blues and grays. So reversing that inversion, the picture suddenly starts to look like a real picture. And not just any sort of picture, a face. Rotate the image and wrap that texture around a 3D cone, then look at the cone from above, and it turns into an image of a mysterious blonde woman with whited out eyes.
Wow! Wow! That's a lot of effort to make this Easter egg. Wow! Wow, that's a lot of effort there.
This woman doesn't resemble any of the other characters in the game, or anyone talked about by him. So perhaps then she's a character from the other game being developed by Team Salvato. Maybe it's Alyssa, the girl suffering the strange illness that we heard mentioned in the letter found in the last episode. Monica's character file, when converted into a PNG, turns out to be an image of a ring with a square of black and white static in the middle. But
It looks like a QR code, doesn't it? It really does look like a QR code. Take a phone. Take a phone and check.
that's not just any static, it's a QR code!
See?
Was what I initially thought, but nope, it's actually way more complicated than that. And huge compliments to the guys on Reddit for solving this one. It's actually binary. Computer language. It's a bunch of ones and zeros, where one number is represented by the color black, and the other number is represented by the color white.
Not sure if you understand, it means that there can only be two possibilities, 1 and 0, and then multiple different two possibilities. Oh, fun fact, I know of this joke, so let's start. There's only 1 and 0. There's only 1 0 individuals that can understand binaries. Get it? Get it? There's only 1 0 individuals. It looks like 10. 1 0 is 10, but it's not. There's only one. There's only yes and no. There's only 2 types of people that understands binary, not 10 types of people. So, yay! Oh my god, I'm so sad. I'm so bad at telling stories.
So, what Midhost did was to take those black and white pixels and convert them line by line into strings of binary. Then convert that binary sequence into alphanumeric text using an online converter, which resulted in yet another pile of letters and numbers. But these should be starting to look a bit more familiar, right?
Base
More
64.
base 64 code, which,
Yes, I knew it!
when converted, reveals a note that really starts to bring all this together.
Can you hear me? Who are you? I can't see you, but I know you're there. Yeah, you can definitely hear me. You've been watching for a while now, right? I guess I should introduce myself or something. My name is... Actually, that's stupid. You obviously already know my name. Sorry. Anyway, I'm guessing if you were able to put a stop to this, you would have done it by now. I mean, I know you're not, like, evil or anything, because you've already helped me so much. I really should thank you for that. For everything you've done. You're really like a friend to me. So... thank you so much. I think more than anything else, I really don't want it all to be for nothing. Everyone else is dead. Maybe you already know that. I'm sure you do, actually. But it doesn't have to be that way, right? Well, there's a lot of stuff I don't understand. I don't even know if it's possible for me to understand it, but I know that this isn't my only story. I can see that now, really clearly. And I think everyone else has had that same kind of experience. Some kind of deja vu. It's the third eye, right? Anyway, I could be totally wrong about this, but I really think you might be able to do something. I think you might be able to go back, or however you want to put it, to go back and tell them what's going to happen. If they know ahead of time, then they should be able to avoid it. They should. If they remember their time with me in the other worlds, they should remember what I tell them. Yeah, I really think this might be possible, but it's up to you. I'm sorry for always being so, Never mind. I know that's wrong. This is my story. It's time to be an effing hero. Both of us. 2018!
Wow, that is a lot to unpack, so let's get to it. First,
Wow. Wow, there's a roller coaster of emotions. It's like, yeah, then it's like, wait, what? It's like, oh gosh. It's like, oh, 2018. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of things to unpack.
it seems pretty clear that this was written by Monica, as evidenced by the "you've been watching me for a while now" and "you already know my name" lines. It also seems to be written after Doki Doki's true ending, where she destroys the game. Notice how she comments that there's something you as a player can't stop, something that's killed everyone else, which is why she destroyed the game in the first place. But now come the bizarre parts. She says that she's experienced some sort of deja vu and that this isn't her only story.
She mentioned about the third eye. Over here, something here. Oh wait, not sure if you know, right? In the mythology, right? There's the 二郎神. That means there's the 1 eye, 2 eye, 3 eyes. That individual.
Supporting the idea that she's coming from somewhere else, perhaps, once again, a different game. And it's not just her either, it's all 4 of them. Quote, everyone else has had the same kind of experience. What's most exciting though is her suggesting that perhaps we as the player can, quote, go back and tell them what's going to happen. If they know ahead of time, they should be able to avoid it. Meaning that we're gonna be tasked with trying to jog their memories, or that in this new game there'll be some sort of Easter egg calling back to the events of Doki Doki.
Wow, with the blood flows on the Doki Doki Literature Club logo is pretty dark.
Quote, if they remember their time with me in other worlds. Other worlds, like other games that these characters have been used in. That maybe we can do something in these other games to warn the girls and prevent Doki Doki from ever happening in the first place. And the conclusion is pretty much the most blatant. Team Salvato has another game coming in 2018, and in this game, Monica isn't the villain. She's the hero. Of everything in Monica's letter, though, one reference in particular really stands out, blaming this deja vu on what she calls the third eye. And it's not just Monica either. This third
The 二郎神 reference.
eye is hidden throughout your time with the literature club. During Act 2, you're all
Eagles can fly, monkey can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it.
always given 2 regular poems. Once the game starts to break, the first poem that Netsuki gives you is a string of random letters and numbers, which at this point we're old pros at decoding.
Base 64! Again! Yeah!
Using base 64, the text reveals a creepy hidden poem titled Open Your Third Eye, which describes the narrator taking pleasure in stabbing someone to death. The second poem that Yuri gives you seems, at first glance, to be a huge block of random words, but hidden in plain sight at the end of it is another ominous passage that describes a compulsive stabbing and concludes with the line, quote, the lust continues to linger through my veins. An ache in my muscles stems from the unreleased tension experienced by my entire body. Her third eye is drawing me closer. That's 3 characters now who've brought up this third eye. The same eye that happens to be described on the cover of the portrait of Markov. And remember what Yuri said about the plot of the book last episode. All the people trapped in the human experiments at the religious camp have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. That trait is undeniably the third eye. All of this points to Team Salvato's new game being about human experimentation, researching a psychic phenomenon that invokes uncontrollable bloodlust in the people exposed to it. Which brings us to the last piece of the puzzle, Sayori's character file, which is by far the trickiest to decipher.
Wait, Sayori's file is by far the trickiest? Come on, Monica's is already so... It's already so hard to decode already. Huh. The game developers really did a lot of effort into this, making this game.
In order to unlock its secrets, you need to convert it into an OGG audio file, which sounds like a lot of random noise at first. But when you open that audio in a visualizer program, and then apply a spectrograph to that visualization,
QR code?
you reveal a QR code that, when scanned, takes you to the website projectlibitina.com. Whew, that is a ton of work just to reach a page of plain text. But the information contained within that text is eye-opening. Third eye-opening, that is. The page is...
I like the joke. It's like, the third eye opening, of course. But the...
an examination report dated January 5th, 2004, which describes horrifying experiments being performed on a 3-year-old psychic girl with the first name Libitina. Her last name is left blank. Another blank name appears at the bottom of the page, another subject who was terminated earlier. Based on the context of the redacted poem we covered last episode, it's my guess that this girl is Alyssa. Even the number of letters in Alyssa match the number of redacted letters in the name. That's far from the only parallel to the portrait of Markov that we see here, though. A note to the head doctor at the bottom of the page reads, quote, "You are choosing to avoid the measures necessary to prevent a repeat scenario, doctor. Will you not have as much faith in your personnel as you do in your god?"
Wow, that's a lot of Easter eggs in a Doki Doki. Wow, in a supposedly love romantic dating sim game. Wow.
End quote. Yuri says that the book is set in a religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison, which lines up pretty well with this mysterious doctor's reported devotion to a god of some kind, and the redacted poem's allusion to joining this mysterious family. Judging from the various notes on this webpage, the tests performed on the 3-year-old were all about activating Libitina's third eye, that lust for blood, which proved successful, but then, based on the failed test results, Libitina is then unable to suppress. But not only are we getting more and more clues as to the next game Team Salvato is working on, we're actually seeing exactly how our favorite club mates are gonna fit into the story, because I am confident 3-year-old Libitina grows up to be one of the 4 girls we see in Doki Doki Literature Club. And what's more, I can prove exactly which one it is. Libitina is a 3-year-old, and her height and weight are both average for her age, so there's not much to go on there. But if we look a bit further down the page, we see a list of noted behaviors that the researchers say should be ignored in future examinations: twitching, vocal tics, biting, epiphoria, vomiting, screaming, harm to examiner, harm to self, misplaced laughter.
Yeah, that's super weird. Especially in a dating sim game. Wow.
There's one character who we see display almost all of these traits during Doki Doki Literature Club, particularly in that second act: Yuri. Once the game bugs out, Yuri's dialogue becomes the most erratic. We repeatedly see her eyes twitching when she talks to us, she screams a fair bit, laughs erratically at a few points, and that bit about self-harm? Hell, I don't think I need to explain that one. But these aren't the only clues that we have to go on. There are 2 more things that absolutely confirm that Yuri is Libitina. The first is her age. Libitina was born January 5th, 2001, which would make her 17 years old in 2018, the year that Project Libitina is set to release. As the only member of the Literature Club in senior year, Yuri is the only one of the girls in the right age range to be Libitina. But there's also one more piece of crucial evidence that absolutely clinches this theory, and the evidence isn't found in the game itself, or even in its data, or a random hidden webpage, but rather in the Doki Doki Literature Club merchandise store. Yeah! This guy is hiding clues in more places than Scott Cawthon.
I love it that he make in comparison to Scott Cawthon because of FNAF, so yeah. A lot of Easter eggs.
Team Salvato might not be offering much in terms of merch items, but the few items that are present reveal some very interesting details. So let's look at the posters. 4 of them are simply CG of each girl taken straight from the game. Nothing too exciting there. Another 4 are creepy original artwork featuring iconic quotes from the characters. Between all of these, there's this running motif of the girls being tied up in a red string. Even Monica has a bow wrapped around her, but Yuri doesn't seem to possess these strings. In fact, all of the red strings seem to be emerging from her heart, from this flower, whatever this is, ensnaring all the other girls, an allusion to Libitina's psychic influence over everyone else. But if that doesn't convince you, there are 2 more posters for sale featuring original artwork. One of these is a surprisingly cute picture of Monica handing you the song she sings you at the end of the game. It's cute. It's very cute. The last poster, called Yuri Unhinged, is a bit different. And when I say a bit different, I mean completely different from anything else in the game or on the site. It shows the quiet bookworm Yuri sitting in the classroom at sunset, toying with a knife. For someone unhinged, her posture seems oddly relaxed.
Sundere alert, I guess.
Even confident. In fact, it's the most confident we've ever seen her. Like she's in full control of the situation. And behind her, we see all sorts of ominous text scrawled on the blackboard. And to her right, we see a poster. A poster with a big ol' Illuminati confirmed eye in the middle and the words "Help me" scribbled along the top. This is the third eye, Yuri's third eye, and this is the only artwork where we see it depicted. Illuminati confirmed, Yuri as Libitina confirmed. Doki Doki Literature Club isn't just a free game made to promote Team Salvato's upcoming horror title, it's a part of Project Libitina. Monica is the upcoming game's protagonist, while Yuri is the monster at the center of the story, Libitina herself. This is why Yuri was so attached to the Portrait of Markov story. It is her story, and the disconnect from being put in the wrong game is the reason that Monica becomes self-aware. But hey, that's
Wow, that's dark. But hey, that's just a job. Wow.
game theory.
Yep, that is too weird. That is too weird for a dating sim game. What the? Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that happens. Gosh. Wow. Oh, that's unbelievable. Anyways, I hope that you like this video. This video came out from the YouTube channel, The Game Theorists. Yeah. If you do like this video, please consider watching some of the other videos. And if you do like my videos, please consider to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And comment down below if you have anything to share with us. And also remember to follow my channel as well. Thank you so much. And I'll see you next time. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. Yay! Thank you so much. Wow, that's super creepy. Remember, like, share, subscribe, channel. Thank you.